Okay, so America, the motion picture, is produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and it stars a whole bunch of people, including Channing Tatum, Olivia Munn, Jason Mantzoukas, Bobby Moynihan, Andy Samberg, Simon Pegg, of all people. And it's an animated, raunchy take on the birth of America, the Revolutionary War, and how it was won by the Americans. And of course, it's being released on Independence Day weekend. So, what better way to celebrate the birthday of America than by watching a movie about Independence Day? I can think of a million better things to do than to watch this movie. So I heard about this movie like a couple weeks ago, and I kind of kept forgetting it was coming out. It was like, oh, that movie's happening. That movie happened, and it's coming out this week. I should watch that. And it's weird for a movie that had Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the people who made Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs, 21 Jump Street, the Lego Movie. They had a lot of say in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So why not, so why isn't this movie like really trending for me? Like, why was I not really interested in this? And then I watched it, and wow, I really did not like this movie. I have to hate them for something now. This is really bad. This is just boring and just not really all that funny. So, is there anything that works? Some of the jokes are funny. There's like a series of jokes at the end I thought were pretty funny and kind of got the biggest laugh out of me throughout this entire movie. And that's the biggest laugh in this 90-minute movie is the ending. Just no. Also, the animation is fine for the most part. They've been doing, CG animation and just 3D animation. And they kind of go to this Archer style animation, which, it worked. It was different. And, it was kind of cool to see. I need to watch Archer. I need to go back and watch Archer. Meanwhile, some of the performances are fine, mainly Andy Samberg as Benedict Arnold. I thought he was pretty funny. And he's probably the only character in this movie that I liked. Well, his performance-wise, I mean. Because all the other performances, all the other characters are just... I didn't like any of them. It kind of makes everyone look like idiots. And the performances don't really help. Everyone is just very bland. Like Channing Tatum as George Washington. He was kind of boring. Will Forte as Abraham Lincoln, yeah, he hasn't done that before. He did that in the Lego Movie. Or eventually, after a while, you kind of get used to some of these voices, like Bobby Moynihan, you get used to him. Jason Mantzoukas, you get used to him. And it's just them. It doesn't really sound like they're trying to do anything. It's just kind of dull. It's just boring. And, again, I mentioned, the ending jokes were funny. But the majority of jokes just fall flat. They're just not very funny. It's jokes we've been hearing multiple times, and they're just not very funny. It's just not... How many times can I say a movie's not funny before I lose it? Apparently 90 minutes. 90 minutes worth of time. I feel like a lot of these lines should be really funny. And all these lines are said by really funny people. Everyone I mentioned can be really funny, even Channing Tatum. But you would think, a lot of these scenes feel like they're just poorly improvised. This is their first improv class, and they just don't know how to do anything like that. How did you think this was actually funny? It's just dumb. It was never, annoying like Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, but it was still just dumb. Really dumb humor throughout the entire movie. Also, there's random references, mainly to historical events. The Titanic at one point. How? Which, again, it could be really funny, but why are you bringing up the Titanic in a movie about the American Revolution? I don't know. Also, there's references to RoboCop, Star Wars. It's just not very funny. It's just it's just references for the sake of references. You need to why would you do that? Why would you try to do this? Now, I think the idea is really funny, but at the same time, it's it's also like very inaccurate. Now, I'm not going to really complain too much about the fact that it's really historically inaccurate or by any means, but it's just not very well thought out. It's just random, and it's just random references throughout the entire movie to American history, to just random pop culture references. It's just... Ugh. It's honestly kind of forgettable for the most part. It's just not very funny. The performances are bland. The story makes no sense. Like, literally, it's about George Washington trying to avenge the death of Abe Lincoln. How? Okay, whatever. Again, I'm not going to complain about the fact that it's historically inaccurate. There's just bigger issues with this movie. Like, it's not funny, and these characters are awful. And everyone is just stupid in this movie. Like, literally everyone is stupid. So, there are plenty of other things to do during Independence Day, and watching this movie is not one of them. I'll give America the Motion Picture... I'm going to go really low. I'm going to go 1 out of 4 stars. Skip it. I have to hate you for something now, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. So did you watch America the Motion Picture? I hope you didn't. And also, what's your favorite... I don't even have a question. I'm just done. I hated this movie. Did you watch it? Please don't. Watch, comment, like, subscribe. Stay safe. Happy 4th of July.